this on silent. All right, is it working? Cool. All right, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to the live. I've got the little live chat pulled up too here. So, what's up, guys? Not up in here. Superior, inferior, V. Poo, Rayner, Wiggins, Abhinav Singh, King Malar. What's up, dudes? So today I want to share. I'm gonna pull up a study here. This was literally just published a couple weeks ago. It's interesting. On these lives, I'm just going to show you guys like cool studies, answer questions, that sort of thing. This study is basically titled "The Use of Nutritional Supplements to Induce Ketosis and Reduce Symptoms Associated with Keto Induction," and it's a full review of the literature, actually. So they look at a bunch of different things. When I edit the description, I'll drop this link to this study in the description. But really, it came out a couple weeks ago. It's from out of New Zealand, and they found some interesting things that I felt I should share because I really believe that the keto diet, all these keto supplements and everything that's out there right now, like this stuff's a fad. It's not going to be around in a couple years. This is going to go out of style. So you might as well save your money and your energy on this kind of thing because it's really not worth your time, especially now that what they did, they studied the available research in terms of a couple different supplements that are being sold, that are being marketed to like induce ketosis in people, and found some interesting things. So the ones that they looked at basically were acetic acid, butyric acid, medium chain triglycerides, which MCT oil, and exogenous ketones. And out of all of them, the MCT oil was the most effective in terms of inducing ketosis in people, and bringing people into ketogenesis. The exogenous ketones, though, and we'll pull up a screenshot here. I screenshotted and highlighted a main takeaway from their review of the exogenous ketones. The exogenous ketones were found to basically be not ketogenic and actually inhibited endogenous ketone production in a similar way that taking a hormone will do that sort of thing to the human body. Like, for example, if you take an exogenous hormone, if you took exogenous testosterone in an injection or in a cream, for example, it's going to inhibit the natural production of that hormone. Same with melatonin. So they found that exogenous ketones are in fact inhibiting ketogenesis in people, which I don't agree with the idea of the keto diet in general. For example, putting people into ketosis for long periods of time. I don't agree with that. I think it damages your metabolism. It damages your thyroid. But in general, I just want to point this out because these ketone supplements, these exogenous ketones they're selling like crazy out on the market right now. And it's just this big health fad that people are being marketed to, saying that if you buy these things, that it'll trick your body into burning fat, and it's going to induce ketogenesis quickly, that sort of stuff. When in fact it does the opposite. It inhibits ketogenesis. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Did we ever get that? Did we get that study pulled up? All right, we're gonna pull it up here in a second, and again, I'll link to this study for you guys. And I'm saying this because just so you guys know, even some behind the scenes with Truth Nutra, like our manufacturer came to me last fall, and he there we go, we got the study up. He came to me last fall and he was like, "Hey, I think you should sell these exogenous ketones. They're selling like crazy." And of course, the manufacturer knows that because he has other clients too, other supplement companies, and he knows the amount of volume that these guys are doing. They're selling millions of dollars a month in these exogenous ketone supplements to people, making these claims that it's going to help them lose body weight and get into ketogenesis faster and that sort of thing. And I just vehemently refused it. I said, I don't agree with this stuff. I think it's a fad. I think it's potentially just a scammy, thing that's going to be around for about a year or two, and then people are going to get wise to this stuff, and they're going to move on. And this is not the kind of thing this is the kind of thing that people sell just to make money. This is not the kind of thing that people sell that's going to improve someone's health, that's got longevity, that's going to build a great brand and a great company that's serving its customers. So I really refused it, and I'm glad I did, because right now, that was my gut feeling. And right now, I mean, it's all this review came out a couple weeks ago, like I said, and it basically is backing up what I felt in my gut that time. Like, this really is just a fad. There's no basis to the claims behind this stuff. It's not much different than drinking a Gatorade, and that's my opinion, because what they're saying is that the use of these exogenous ketones is essentially prioritizing it as an energy source over endogenous ketones. So, for example, that's literally the same thing that glucose would do in this kind of situation. So say someone was in ketosis and they took this supplement, it's going to stop the production of their endogenous ketones, and it's going to prioritize the use of this supplement over those endogenous ketones. That's literally no different than if they drank a Gatorade and it prioritized glucose over the ketones. So, I mean, that's just like the reality of this whole thing. So if you look at people selling this stuff, just keep this in the back of your mind. Know that this is potentially just a fad that's going to disappear in a couple of years. These companies are not going to be around in a few years. They're going to jump onto the next bandwagon, and all these people are going to jump onto the next bandwagon. My intention is to find the truth about what really makes a human body healthy and pursue that. And I might not always be correct, but more often than not, over the last 10 years now, I have been correct in terms of what I'm doing, because I don't tend to share things unless I really know that I'm right about it. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys and shed some light on it. If you want to read this study yourself and check it out, again, I'm going to put it in the description area for you, and you can check it out. This is kind of at the bleeding edge of the research on this subject, and it's a pretty thorough review of all the available research on these different supplements. So it's pretty well done. They also talk about leucine, like I said. So they talk about leucine, short-chain fatty acids, acetic acid, butyric acid, medium-chain triglycerides, MCT oil, and then exogenous ketones. And the exogenous ketones, again, to sum it up, were found to be kind of the worst of the bunch in terms of ketosis. So hopefully this was helpful. If you guys, I can stick around here a little bit, answer some questions. I'm looking at the chat right now. Let me just, if you guys have any questions you want to throw up in there in the chat. Here's someone did a keto diet. It was awful. Bowel movements were horrific. The thing is, another interesting thing I found was I was reading a study yesterday that found that people always talk about, like, when they start this or that diet, like, if they started any new diet, literally any new diet. They say this a lot right now with the keto diet. You'll hear this from tons of people where they're like, oh, I feel incredible. In the first few weeks of doing this diet, I just feel amazing. There was actually a study that proved that in the first 2 to 3 weeks of any diet, the exact same self-reported stuff is said by every person. So statistically, if you start any diet, any change in your nutrition habits for the first few weeks, statistically, you're going to feel better, self-reported. Especially if, like, in the way that they look at these studies, they take people who are just like eating the standard shitty American diet, and then they're doing anything different. So, like, if they were to eat vegan, vegetarian, fruitarian, keto, paleo, whatever, they're going to feel all better for the first couple weeks. And then it's after that first period of time that it starts to deteriorate. And specifically with keto, you're in this, the adrenaline rush essentially is what makes you feel good, because there's a significant increase in adrenaline. The problem that I have with keto is not necessarily over the short term, but it's over the long term. It's the fact that people are touting this diet as something that you should do for the rest of your life, even a year at a time, 6 months to a year at a time. In that sort of a high cortisol state, high adrenaline state, your body's going to start to really become catabolic. It's going to start to break things down. And that's not necessarily muscle tissue, while that definitely is one of the things that is catabolized. It starts to pull minerals from other places. So it's going to pull minerals from bones. It's going to pull things from different organ systems that should technically stay there, because it's trying to pull this stuff and shuttle it towards something else, because there are a range of nutritional deficiencies that start to happen. So, and if you guys have followed me for any period of time, like, I really believe nutritional deficiencies, I believe micronutrient deficiencies are at the core of any kind of disease on the body at the cellular level, because, and it's hard for anyone to track, and nobody even talks about this stuff. But it's the foundational element. These are the things that triggered all the signaling, all the communication, whether it's chemical and electrical within your body, and you become deficient in them starting from the time you're a kid, potentially, because a lot of us, we're kids, we start to eat shitty food, and we don't know any better when we're kids. We're just eating what we're being fed, and we're exposed to a lot of endocrine disrupting chemicals. We're exposed to nutrient void food, tons of processed foods, especially in the last few centuries. Like, anyone watching this, we've all grown up eating terrible food, essentially, unless you really had some forward thinking parents on the health side. So you start to become, even as a kid and a teenager, you start to become deficient in these things. And a lot of times the symptoms don't show up until you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and they show up and they manifest as some sort of disease or issues or precursors to those issues. So anything that causes the deficiency, I'm not into that. I don't think it's the right way to go. That's why the truth that I'm pursuing with trying to help people with their health is to identify a way of eating and a way of living and a way of exercising that keeps you in that state of balance and starts to correct those deficiencies and bring you back into this state of health. And I'm calling that thermo, where thermo is like the perfect state of health and I'm trying to get people to help move back into that state. So that's really the intention here. I don't want to like bash these other diets. I don't, to be honest, I don't really care. I just want to show you guys things that, like, try and reveal the truth to people, because really that, I think, is what I'm here for, what I'm supposed to be doing. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you got some good insights on this. Here's the question: what do you think of fruit smoothies as a micronutrient meal? I think that's great, man. I personally have a smoothie almost every single day for the micronutrient meal. Smoothies are awesome. So, here's a question: does no FAP actually boost T if you chronically fat? I guess that I should do a little more looking into the whole no FAP subject. The thing is that anytime you ejaculate, your prolactin increases. I know some people have an issue with the addiction to that stuff, and they do it like 20 times a day. That kind of acute increase in prolactin 10, 20 times a day is really bad. So that can definitely increase or harm your testosterone levels. But I'll look more into that stuff. And your body really does know the difference between, kind of autoerotic, like self-erotic, and then, partner aroused stuff. So whatever. I'll leave that for another subject, another video. When is the Thermo Diet coming out? Working on it right now. So, and I have been working on it for a while. The thing is, the deeper I get into this stuff, like, the more I want to add to it. So it's just turning into this situation where I have so much that I keep wanting to add to this. And the same thing happened with the Master Your Tea book. I've updated that thing 4 times. First time I wrote it was 274 pages. Ended up updating it over the course of like 4 or 5 years. Now it's 580 pages or something. So maybe I just need to like get the course out, the Thermo course, do the Thermo 30 with you guys. We've been talking about basically sometime in the very near future on this YouTube channel doing Thermo 30, and where I put up a video every other day or every day for the 30 days. And any of you guys can follow along together with it. And what I'm going to do, because a lot of people ask, like, what supplements taken on a daily basis, what the meals look like on a daily basis, what the training looks like on a daily basis. So I wanted to find a way to demonstrate that easily. So maybe that's what the best thing we can do. And if you like that, just let me know in the comments. Oh, Testro-X had me out cold last night. Amazing stuff. Good stuff. Hey, Chris, would redwood strengthen erections? Yeah, it definitely does. It's noticeable. It is. And the another one that's really good is we formulated a Keto body pre-workout called Octane. Got it right here. Dude, this stuff is freaking awesome for many reasons. It's pre-anything is what I'm calling it. It's got 6 grams of L-citrulline in it, and that L-citrulline really gets you going. It's pretty good stuff. And we're about to release a bunch of new flavors of it because it's sold out so fast. This orange one sold out really fast, but in about a week we're going to release more orange. We're going to release watermelon. We're going to release grape and lemon, like a lemon citrus flavor. What's the longest fast that I've done? Longest fast that I've done is 5 days. I've done that twice. And more common, I've done 3-day ones. And you always feel incredible afterward. I just find that at this point in my life, like I have too much stuff to do these 3-day fasts very often. And because I get really tired after the second day. And it's best with a fast if you really are resting. You're giving your body that time to rest. So I'm going to do some bone broth fasts coming up here. Actually, Zach is our head of production. Check it out. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Hopefully I didn't fuck the camera up.
We're still rolling? We're good?
Yeah, we're rolling. So Zach's really good at doing these fasts, and we were just talking about a potential, what would we call it, like a thermo refresh or thermo reset fast, where we had some good ideas. Zach just did it. You felt good on doing it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a way to, like, you do a fast, water fast for 24 hours, then you do a bone broth day to another 24 hours, then you have a day of doing organic potatoes to repopulate your gut with that prebiotic fiber. So it was really good. Let's see. Oh, a bunch of really good questions. Chris, where do you usually go for a starting point of research? That's a good question. Typically, I guess a couple places. If I'm really just curious about a subject, I'll go. It's easy to just go to PubMed, type it in, check it out, see what's available on it. Another really good resource for anybody to use is examine.com. My buddy Saul Orwell started that a few years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago now. And they've done a really good job compiling evidence on mostly supplements. They have some topics on there too, but if you're interested about any sort of like particular supplements, they have a wide variety of research, and you can kind of go down the rabbit hole real fast on that one by finding the research. And then when you click through to PubMed, typically the PubMed shows a lot of studies in the sidebar that are related to that study you're looking at. So I mean, rabbit hole could be quick. Like, you'd be reading all sorts of stuff. It's pretty easy to find all that stuff. Back when I was in college, when I was at Duke, we had access to all these different databases beside PubMed. PubMed is a bit more limited, and you'll find that you can find abstracts a lot of times off PubMed, and sometimes you can find the full text, but also, about half the things you're going to find are going to be they're going to require a membership. They're going to require you to pay for the full text, and that can get pretty expensive pretty quick. So it helps to have a membership to those sort of things like Science Direct. And when you're in university, typically it comes with that access, which is pretty cool. So when's the bone broth going to be out? We're finalizing the bags. Actually, Zach, could you show the bag? Is there a way to pull that up? You
Yeah.
guys can see that. We're finalizing the packaging and everything. We have like the full amino acid breakdown on it too, and I think it has about like each serving of bone broth has a really good amino acid profile. I think it's about 5 grams of glycine in it, which is awesome. If you guys watched the live cast yesterday, you see that having that 5 grams of glycine twice a day with the niacin and glutamine actually induced a 70% increase over 15 days of growth hormone production. That's pretty cool. Um, Cole Robinson and the snake diet. No, I heard something about that, but I don't know what it is. So if someone could link me to some information on the snake diet. I don't know if what do you eat, a bunch of snakes or something? I don't know. I'm assuming it's not eating snakes. That might be kind of difficult. Do you think the earth is flat? I don't know enough about that subject to have an opinion on it, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I'll look into it. I don't know. Do you guys think the earth is flat? I definitely think I think everything is vibration, everything is frequency. I think we exist within a frequency band, which that's been proven a billion times over. Just the electromagnetic spectrum, the things we can sense with our senses are all within a certain band of frequency. There's a lot of stuff outside of that frequency. There's the bone broth bag. Do you smoke weed? Is it bad for you? I'll smoke like probably once every 3 or 4 or 6 months. Like I don't really smoke weed very much. It just doesn't work well with my chemistry. I know a lot of people like it because it'll calm them down if they have more of like ADHD type mannerisms and temperament. Um, I'm not really that way. I'm pretty chill already, so I don't really need it. I don't necessarily think it's bad though if someone needs the help with it. Um, the what I prefer is high CBD hemp. I don't like the THC so much because I don't like feeling high. High CBD hemp. CBD is incredible for controlling inflammation. So if you were gonna take an oil or smoke um, cannabis, the hemp is a type of cannabis. There's a lot of misconceptions about cannabis. Um, I really think so. So in the family of cannabis, there's hemp and there's marijuana. So hemp is a sativa, just like marijuana you can have sativa marijuana, but you could also have the indica marijuana. So the sativa is more of like the upper, and but hemp is only sativa. So it's only like positive energy. Um, the the hemp though, the distinguishing factor is that it has little to no THC in it, and it has higher CBD content. And the cannabidiol is what's the inflammation controlling agent. So it's really good. Like if you smoke a little bit of that high CBD hemp, you don't get high. You are almost instantly relaxed, and you could take one hit, and you're feeling chill, and it helps. And it's been proven in a lot of research to control inflammation, help with depression, help with sleep. Um, it's good stuff. Go over if you guys want to read more about my opinions on that. Go over to theuniversalplant.com. I've been doing a little blogging about it and like doing a lot of reading on the CBD. Stuff's really good. How old were you when you wrote your first book, and how long did it take? Um, I was 21, I think 21, and it took 3 weeks because I was obsessed with it. And I'm not the kind of person who can like work on something little by little. I'm more of a binger. I like to just fucking binge on work. Um, so I worked all day for 3 weeks and wrote the book, and it took a lot of energy out of me, but I'm glad I did, because that book has turned into helping many thousands of guys at this point. So it's pretty cool. Um, Tips on beard growth. Beard growth. One thing you might want to try for beard growth. Zach and I were talking about this. Um, it's an herb known as Beauteous superba. Stuff's awesome. Helps with libido a lot too. it's pretty cool. It's kind of hard to find, but it's a bit of a rare herb. But beard growth's just gonna come with time too. Like I'm 28 right now. I couldn't really grow a good beard until I was about 26 or 27, but 26. So and all of a sudden it just started to kind of happen. Like everything was there. Even though I had high testosterone when I was younger too. Like in my early 20s, that was when I was figuring all this stuff out. It didn't seem to have that big of an effect on the beard until more recently. So, but now I can grow like a pretty solid beard. Can testosterone increase if you're a teenager, 14 years old? Yeah, definitely. You're not any different then. I mean, it's probably you're gonna have an even bigger effect. You're in a better scenario. Let's see. Cold showers. I haven't looked recently at the idea of cold showers, but I remember the cold shower thing being more of a, like, I remember looking at it when I first wrote the Master Your Tea book, like in its first version, it was called Testosterone IO. I remember looking at cold showers thinking, like, I've heard so much about this for testosterone, and I was like, ready to find all this research about it, but there's really not much, if any. And I remember Tim Ferriss wrote about it in the 4 Hour Body, and was talking about how it's great for testosterone and everything. I honestly don't think I could find one study that proved that. He referenced a study in that book that seems to not exist. I literally hunted for that study for a day, could not find that study all over the internet. I don't know if that study even exists. I think it's just one of these hearsay things that's there. However, the thing is, there's an anecdotal component to the cold showers. Like, I think it's an adrenaline rush that makes you feel good, and there's something potentially there if you're acutely stimulating adrenaline. As long as it's not chronic, you could potentially have an upregulation in something like growth hormone or that sort of thing, testosterone potentially down the like afterward. But I really don't, like, in terms of evidence, I haven't seen much of it. But maybe since then people have come out with other studies about it. So I don't know. If you guys find something, just link it to me. Let's see. Cold showers increase the browning of white fat. That's probably the only proven thing. Yeah, potentially. I don't know much about it. So if you guys want to, like, leave a comment on this video if you have a study to show me about that kind of thing. I like to read all this stuff. What's your thoughts on macro tracking? Is it necessary? How would you approach it? I guess my thoughts on it are, like, if you're really looking to like get shredded, sort of thing, and maintain as much muscle as possible, it's probably beneficial to track your macros, at least for a period of time. And I obviously always think that you should go with the highest quality food as possible within that macro set that you're using. I don't necessarily think it's good, like what a lot of these more fitness bro type dudes are doing, like where they're saying, oh yeah, food quality doesn't matter as long as you hit your macros, which might be true in terms of like just losing body fat. But over the long term, I mean, if you're eating Pop-Tarts and cake and ice cream and shit, that's not going to be good for your body, because you're going to become nutritionally deficient in things, and eventually you're going to have problems. And a lot of people that are also touting that stuff, if it fits your macros, bro, it does, nothing else matters. They're also, a lot of them use hormone replacement or steroids anyway, so it's like, okay, they're already like deeper into not kind of going the opposite direction of trying to optimize their health, which is their choice. I'm not judging anybody. You can do whatever the hell you want, but for people that are curious about it, I really don't. I think tracking your macros can really be effective for dialing in your nutrition. Yes, absolutely. It's not necessary though, unless you're really looking to get like shredded up. Go like 8% or lower type thing. Keep your training at a good level, that sort of stuff. It definitely helps to measure. What gets measured gets managed, or whatever that quote is. But when you're paying attention to that stuff, you can manipulate it more easily. And even if it's for a matter of 2 weeks or so, till you get a feel of it, see what your body responds to. and you can do it. But again, nutrient quality, like micronutrients, big deal. If I have all this knowledge on testosterone and men's hormonal health, how come I'm not bigger? I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like getting bigger. I'm not small. I'm 200 pounds. A lot of people are surprised at how big I am when they meet me in person. I might not look big on camera because I'm not posing like all these other guys doing all this lighting tricks and stuff, but I'm bigger than you think. I also don't really have a desire to get abnormally big. You know, I think I'd rather be athletic and powerful in that sense. What do I eat for breakfast? Nothing. Octane. That's really what I just drink some of this at this point. There's no calories in it. I've been intermittent fasting for about 9 years. I've probably eaten breakfast 5 times over that entire period of time. And typically when that's a breakfast, it's more of a brunch. It's like 10 a.m. kind of thing. I just don't like breakfast. I like breakfast foods like eggs, that sort of thing, but I just don't have any desire to eat breakfast at all. It's become a habit. And I feel better when I don't. If I eat breakfast, my blood sugar starts going all over the place. It just seems kind of pointless. Let's see. How do you maintain your health and testosterone while traveling and eating out a lot? That's a good question. Because at first I couldn't. It was a lot more difficult for me to do that, and kind of the nature of building the company and what we're up to right now. Like I've had to travel quite a bit, and I do still have to travel. I travel more than I would like to be honest. But it's required to get things done, and really keep learning. And I have certain mentors around the country, and we do like mastermind groups and stuff like that. Sometimes I have to go to expos or just meeting people, working with people. So the key to that is to keep the kind of find what works for the health. You can typically find things pretty easily anywhere in the country that are healthy for you when you're eating out. The biggest issue with eating out is that most places use polyunsaturated fat to cook, and that's the biggest issue in my mind, because I try to limit polyunsaturated fats in my diet as much as possible, because I definitely know that they're bad for your endocrine system. It's bad for your hormonal health. One of the ways to negate that, if you're eating out, first off, just try to not be exposed to it. Try to go, like, there's always, at this point, there's a lot of Whole Foods all over the country. There's Trader Joe's all over the country. You can pretty much go into any grocery store and find some sort of good options. Also, something like Chipotle is pretty solid, except for they use rice bran oil, which the only real issue I have with rice bran oil is, I mean, it's definitely not as bad as if they use like sunflower seed oil or canola oil or something. But the issue that I have is that potentially if you eat enough rice bran oil, it's shown to inhibit DHT. So, and it doesn't have as good of a fat profile as if they were to use like coconut oil or butter, which would be great if they did, or avocado oil. But what I typically do is I always bring this with me. So I use a vitamin E supplement, and this vitamin E supplement doesn't have any polyunsaturated fats in it. A lot of vitamin E actually contains like sunflower oil, which kind of negates the purpose in my mind. So try and find a vitamin E that doesn't have polyunsaturated fats, and the vitamin E has been proven to protect the body. It's a powerful antioxidant, protects against the damage from the polyunsaturated fats. So that can be an extremely useful tool if you have to travel and eat out. Just pop some vitamin E before you eat out, and it'll help to protect against the negative effects of the polyunsaturated fat. So that's something that people can use in their toolbox to be a bit more flexible, and still enjoy some food out if you want, but protect the body against those fats. Talked about PUFAs. What about FUPAs? You mean like a FUPA, like a stomach FUPA? That's funny. Road to Rip Season 3. Actually, Greg and I were talking about that recently. We're going to try and figure it out. So Greg and I both invested recently in a restaurant in Venice Beach, California called the Venice Terrace. And we're super stoked because we're potentially going to record the Road to Rip Season 3 in the restaurant and show everyone the restaurant. And the whole vision with the restaurant's really cool because it's literally on by the Venice Pier on Washington Boulevard, and it's on the corner, so it's on Washington Boulevard and on the Venice Beach Boardwalk. So tons of people walking by, just totally unoptimized space right there. The previous restaurant that was there was just, kind of like just mediocre in terms of the food quality and everything. So now we have a celebrity chef there, Nick Liberato. He's on Bar Rescue. He's also the chef at the Venice Whaler. And Greg and I, our business partner Mike, is the one. He's like totally heading the project. He's an amazing restaurateur, and the food quality is going up. This is going to be the first restaurant with Thermo approved menu items, and that's part of my grand vision for Thermo, is to have like Thermo approved menu items at restaurants around the entire country. And the next thing is here in Boulder. I've got an idea for a couple restaurants that I would like for that to happen too. So we're looking at Road to Rip Season 3 to do it, potentially film it in the Venice Terrace. We also were recently talking about doing a live cast like this, but having it where Greg and I are both doing it on our channels, and we're gonna potentially have like a grand opening of the Venice Terrace and do like a red carpet event, potentially do a contest, see if we can get some of you guys out. If you guys are in Los Angeles area and want to come to that sort of big event, then that would be awesome too. We can say hi. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm happy to share everything, share stuff with you guys. So I think that's good. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff, got some good info on this live cast. I'm always happy to do these live casts. These are pretty fun actually. So anytime you want to hop on a live cast and ask some questions, just look out for the notification. I think there's a way on the YouTube channel, if you set the notification button, there's like a little bell or something. If you click that thing, it'll send you a notification when I go live and have new videos and stuff. And as always, if you like the information, if you have anybody you want to share this with, that would be helpful too. We can grow the channel, grow the community and the information together. And I'm glad you guys watched, and glad to have you around. I'll see you guys on the next one. And I think, are we gonna so we made a new Testro-X ad. I think it's pretty cool. So we're gonna show that right now. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.
Muscle mass, energy, fat burning, and libido all depend on testosterone. It's the key driver of male health, but after the age of 30, your body's ability to produce testosterone starts to drop significantly. The best way to maintain lean muscle, keep belly fat in check, pump up your libido, and lose the irritability and fatigue is to kick your body's own natural testosterone production into high gear with Testro-X. Testro-X is packed with clinically dosed quantities of premium testosterone boosting ingredients. Ingredients proven to boost your body's own natural testosterone production and combat the symptoms of low T. It's all natural and completely safe and effective. Now, why spend huge amounts of money on testosterone treatments or risky steroids with incredibly dangerous side effects? Testro-X is made of all natural ingredients that help your body rev up its own natural testosterone production. It has all the right ingredients in accurate servings compared to the inferior underdose competing brands. And Testro-X's ingredients are standardized to the highest potency possible. Its premium testosterone formula includes zinc and magnesium in their highest and most bioavailable forms, organic KSM66 ashwagandha, forskolin, L-theanine, glycine, inositol, boron, and bioperin for maximum absorption. Testro-X's ingredients are all proven to naturally boost testosterone production in the human body, confirmed by 37 research studies backed by the National Institutes of Health. Men who supplemented with just any one of these ingredients saw significant increases in natural testosterone production. Stop watching your belly grow and your energy fade. Do something about it. With Testro-X, you can rebuild lean muscle, boost fat burning, kick your libido into overdrive, improve energy, mood, and overall health. Testro-X testimonials have poured in from all over the globe. The results are dramatic and the consensus is clear. It works. You don't have to take their word for it. Try it for yourself with absolutely zero risk. Testro-X is backed by our gold standard 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. All of Truth Nutra's products are produced in the US in a state-of-the-art FDA-approved GMP-certified facility. Testro-X is only available online direct from truthnutra.com, and shipping is wicked fast within the US. Testro-X is the most effective and efficient T-booster on the market. It'll help you cut body fat, build lean muscle, and supercharge your energy, mood, and libido. And it's all backed by 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. Order today to supercharge your testosterone production and to start looking and feeling like a new man.